Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to this very special challenge. So in this one, I got something very special, very cool, because I want you to really test your programming skills and put them to use. Now this one is a little bit one of those things that you gotta put some thought into it and think about it. And the reason I actually wanted to do this was to actually explain and make a very important point. When you actually, when you become proficient in Python and programming generally, one of the things that you want to understand is you're going to get to a point where you are a pretty good programmer, but still you're going to come across challenges and like things that you got to program that you have to really think about. That's really important, because a lot of people, like, when they imagine programming, it's like they imagine these movies where like people are programming and doing this like crazy coding and stuff like that. But in reality, it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit like different. You got to actually, programmers like program, but also they're thinking constantly, they're researching and trying to figure out like the best and most efficient way to do something. So this is one of those challenges that really is going to make you think, and with whatever we've learned so far, you should be able to solve this. Although, again, it's going to take some time. Even like when I actually started learning programming a long time ago, this was one of the challenges I did, and I wasn't able to really fully finish it, but it taught me a lot. I learned pretty well from it. So with that being said, I want to present you to this. So the idea with this is that we're going to create a program that is going to detect whether a year that you enter is a leap year or not. So I got a few files for you in the resources section. One is the empty file. It's going to be the first replit file that you can fork and use. The second one is going to be the draw.io diagram. I'll explain that right now. We'll get over it. And then also the third one is going to be this solved version, the completed version, which you'll have access to. But again, I want you to try to solve this, okay? Try to just code a little bit, as much as you can, before you try to watch me do it. All right, so let me explain how this works. So the idea with this is that a normal year it has 365 days, right? We all know that. But a leap year has 366 days. I'm not sure how familiar you are with leap years. Are essentially, an extra day in a year, and they happen every 4 years, right? So the thing is that here's how you actually find the leap year. If you want to figure it out based on the year people enter. So the way you do this is that the year in question should be evenly divisible by 4. Now we have talked about this. The moment I want you to think about this. I said evenly divisible by 4. That essentially means modulos, right? If you remember, we talked about modulos a while ago. So essentially, like, a modulo is, for example, 55%, and then you put like 4, for example. And if it's 0, that means that it's evenly divisible, right? For example, if you put 109 and modulo 4, that means it's not evenly divisible. There's an extra 1 at the end. So something like this, that's basically a modulo. We talked about it a few videos ago. So that's one of the things that you're going to be using, right? So the year in question should be evenly divisible by 4, except, and these are important stuff, guys. Pay attention to this, it's very important. Except every year that is evenly divisible by 100, okay? Unless that year is also evenly divisible by 400. Now I know that might have confused you a little bit, but think about it. The year in question should be divisible by 4, except every year that is evenly divisible by 100, unless that year is also evenly divisible by 400. So if I actually put this in a diagram, this is a diagram I want you to check out. Again, the link is in the resources section, and this explains it really nicer and like in a more simpler way, right? So it starts with asking the first question: is it divisible by 4? If you remember, this is the one that we just talked about, right? Divisible by 4. All right. So is it divisible by 4? If answer is no, well, you're already out and it's not the leap year. But if it is divisible by 4, you need to check another condition. Except every year that is evenly divisible by 100. This means that every year that is evenly divisible by 100 is not a leap year. All right. So again, if that's divisible by 100, if it's not the case, that is a leap year. If it is divisible by 100, we get another condition. If you take a look, unless that year is also evenly divisible by 400. So again, if it's divisible by 100, by default it's not, unless it's divisible by 400. If it is, we got a leap year. If it's not, we don't have a leap year. So I know I want you to think about this. This can be a little bit challenging, guys, but I want you to think about this. I want you to access the diagram. I'm going to leave a link for you guys in the resource section, and also fork this code as well and see it for yourself and start thinking about this. See how you can program it again using modulos and if and else statements. All right. So with that being said, I'm just going to give you a second and we'll start doing this. All right, so I hope you actually try to do this, and I hope you try to solve this by yourself. If you like made some mistakes and if you got some errors, it's completely fine. We're actually going to do it. So I just wanted to make sure that you start thinking a little bit and try to kind of imagine how you would do something like this. So obviously the first thing I want to start is I'm going to define a variable, right? So we're going to say year, that's the information we're going to use receive from the user. And then I'm going to say input, and we're going to have another one inside. I'm going to say, please enter the year. Okay, so that's the input that we're going to get. All right, please enter the year. Very easy. Now, this is where things get a little bit complicated. So the first thing we're going to check is the first condition, right? Which is year in question should be evenly divisible by 4. So I'm going to say if year, that's the first year, right? Modulo 4 equals 0. So this is again, we're saying if the year divisible by 4 equals 0, right? And then instead, and we're going to open another one. Again, we're going to ask another question. Let's actually just go step by step. So I'm just going to say command. All right, so we're just going to do this, and then I'm going to actually have the else statement of this. Else. Here we go. Not a leap year. So the first thing we figured out, this is not complete by the way, but the first thing we figured out was, hey, is this year divisible by 4? If that's the case, run this. If it's not, just, you know, print this. All right, again, this is not done yet, so we'll have more to do. Now we're gonna have another if, and we're gonna say if year divisible by 100, right? That's the second one, equals 0. We're gonna have another else statement. Okay, we're gonna have another else, and this else is gonna say not a leap year. All right, so again, guys, that's very important to remember. We're going to have the second one here, and then we're gonna have another if. Okay, year modulo 400 0. Then we're going to say print leap year, and then we're going to say else. That's going to be the else for this particular if. We're going to say print not a leap year. All right, so take a look at what happened here, guys. So I want you to pay attention. I know this got a little bit confused. I was just thinking and trying to do this because even to me that I've been doing Python for a long time, this thing can get a little bit challenging. All right, so the first line is going to check whether the year that user just entered is divisible by 4 cleanly. All right, so that's the first question. If no, we're going to say, again, this is like the if, and then the else that belongs to this one. If you take a look, if you like just pull this back, it's going to be this one, right? Not a leap year. Perfect. So if it is a leap year, if it is like divisible by 4, we're going to check by another thing, which is going to be this. Is it divisible by 100? So this is the next one. Is it divisible by 100? if it is divisible by 100, we're going to go and not check another statement, which is like the next condition essentially. If it's not, we're going to say leap year. All right, and then finally we're going to check this final thing. Again, that's our 400. All right, and is it divisible by 400? If that's the case, there you go, we're going to say print leap year. If that's not the case, no, we're going to say it is not a leap year. So actually, I think I made a mistake here. Divisible by 100. If that's a no, divisible by 100. Here we go. Let me just make sure we got this. Yeah, leap year. So we're gonna make sure that, yeah, that's that's the case. If it's divisible by 100, if it's not divisible by 100, it is a leap year, right? So that's very, very important. So guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, about this. I know this is a little bit challenging, and I can make mistakes all the time with this as well. So like, this is a bit of a challenge, but I just wanted you to actually start using your creativity a little bit to figure these problems out, because that's what the programming is all about. You just gotta figure these problems out for yourself. So let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you access the resources in the resources section. I'll see you in the next video.